Perhaps we should send $1 billion payment demand to the fossil fuel companies. It is a clear legal principle. If you damage an innocent party, you have to pay compensation. But I would prefer to leave the punitive damages for another day. My priority is to tackle global warming before it becomes unstoppable. I don't believe, as I stand here today, that my country is doomed. My task is to ensure that the Maldives can flourish for another 1,000 years. But to do this, we must fix the economic system that created this mess. First and foremost, we must bring into the market the externality of fossil fuel consumption. This means putting a price on carbon at a high enough rate to compensate for climate damages and to shift investments towards greener technologies. A price on carbon would also shift funds towards the protection of the world's rainforests, the source of 1/10 of annual emission. In my view, protecting trees is more important than shutting down coal-fired power stations. These forests are treasures of irreplaceable biodiversity. We live in a global economy, therefore the price on carbon must also be global. If only a handful of countries impose carbon price, industries will simply relocate to countries that do not tax pollution. I believe it is in everyone's interest, in every country's, to see a serious price on carbon. And when we do it, it will unleash tremendous change. The market's invisible hand will work its magic, allocating capital to cleaner technologies. Renewable sources of power will become cheaper than fossil fuel. Transport systems will move people around without polluting the air. And pristine areas will become more costly to exploit and cheaper to protect. And this will happen on a global scale while the world economy continues to expand. We will witness the most explosive change since the Industrial Revolution. This green revolution will reshape geopolitics. Countries that consume foreign oil will no longer have to transfer their wealth to fossil fuel producers. New global companies will rise, taking advantage of huge new markets. For companies at the cutting edge of this change, vast profits stand to be made. I cannot understand why some nations are still holding back. Some countries are still arguing that development means becoming dirtier and dirtier as they become richer and richer. In the Maldives, we have chosen a different path. Under the Copenhagen Accord, we have committed to become the first carbon-neutral nation in the world. We aim to achieve this by 2020. Going carbon-neutral isn't going to be easy. No one has ever drawn up a plan to decarbonize an entire country and to do it so quickly. We know that solar and wind will be the mainstay of our electricity provision. But how can we get power on nights with no wind and days with no sun? And how can we do this on an island-by-island basis, given that we have no national grid connecting all our population centers together? This is where rhetoric meets hard engineering. Our challenge is no longer political, it is technical. Thankfully, we have been inundated with offers of help. In both the north and south of the country, masts have been erected to gather data on wind speed. We are installing rooftop solar panels on buildings in our capital city, including my office, thanks to Japanese assistance. There are also exciting new developments in the fields of marine renewables like tidal streams and ocean thermal energy. I want the Maldives to be an open laboratory for the development of these ideas. We have also started to see waste as a resource rather than something to get rid of. Our rubbish is potentially a tremendous valuable source of energy on demand. We have very few sewage treatment plants yet built. So we are looking at developing plants that can produce biogas for each island. Under the previous administration, we had only one big state-owned electricity company. I have split it up into regional companies. Each utility is now looking for external partners to help produce energy in a carbon-neutral way. Within a few years, we want to be able to switch off the diesel generators that currently supply our power. If you invest in the Maldives, you will be learning invaluable lessons. The Maldives may be small, but what we are attempting in the Maldives will soon need to be done elsewhere in the world. No doubt, we will make mistakes. That is the cost of being pioneers. But I want the Maldives to not just be the testing ground for the low-carbon revolution. I want us to be the providing ground for low-carbon revolution. As the world gears up for the next COP16 in Mexico, I am here to say we don't want any pollution rights. The Maldives doesn't want equal right to poison the atmosphere. We don't intend to lobby for the right to pollute. We don't want the right to burn carbon because we don't want to burn carbon. Instead, I believe that low-carbon development can be a recipe for growth and prosperity. Make no mistake, for the world to avoid potential catastrophic warming, we need to see global carbon neutrality by mid-century. So when the population hits the 9 billion mark, all our energies must be provided without fossil fuel. And at the same time, we must provide additional food and fresh water without further depleting biodiversity. Scientists are now showing that this planet has boundaries. Intuitively, we have always known this. I do not believe this knowledge represents a straitjacket on human growth and prosperity. I believe it allows us to flourish indefinitely, rather than enjoying short-term bonanza at the price of future disaster. This is a time of change, and change means uncomfortable certainties. But change also means new opportunities opening up for those without the vision to exploit them. Ladies and gentlemen, the Maldives has recently undergone a transition from dictatorship to democracy. We believe in the right to vote. We believe in free speech. We believe in the people's right to choose their own government. But we also believe in economic freedom, the right to own property, the right to acquire wealth from investments, the right to profit from entrepreneurship. The market system has helped create the crisis that we are in today, but it is the market that can help deliver the solutions. It is dynamic and responsive. It changes more rapidly than government plans. But the market needs to be guided by political leadership. And political leadership is a precious commodity in today's world. I appeal to all to help deliver that leadership. The world is heading for uncertain times, and the challenges we face today have no historical parallel. But in adversity, we find opportunity. Your vision, your innovation, your business can help steer a better course. It is true corporate leaders who take on the greatest challenge. And so let us move forward with determination. And let us commence this great undertaking. Let us leave behind the dirty economy of the 20th century and help build the clean global economy of the future. Thank you very much.